Welcome back to Woodworker Express's Guide to Abrasives. In this series, we go over common questions that are asked about our abrasives. In this episode, we'll be covering the abrasive sanding discs. Did you know that Woodworker has all of your sanding needs in one place? And at the best prices around. We carry abrasives from 3M, DynaBrade, Pacific, Surf Prep, Festool, and even our very own WE Preferred. Now, the two most common orbital sanding discs are 5-inch and 6-inch. And depending on the model and size of your sander, that should narrow that answer right down. Now, these abrasive sanding discs also come in a variety of either hook and loop or PSA. The hook and loop is basically like Velcro. If you look at the pad on your sander and it looks a little bit hairy, kind of like Velcro, then most likely you have the hook and loop style, and that's the product that you would purchase. But if you look at the bottom of your sander and it is smooth, then you most likely have the PSA, also known as pressure sensitive adhesive, and it is the peel and stick sanding orbital disc. Next on the agenda, you're going to want to know what grit sandpaper to purchase. Now, the most common grit that I normally start on when I'm doing a woodworking project is 80 grit. It is going to be a really rough, kind of aggressive sanding disc. Now, after 80 grit, you'll want to move up to 120, not skipping too many grits in between. You don't want to skip any grits, really. You want to go from 80 to 120, and then at max, I usually recommend going to 150. After 150 grit, your project is ready to stain or put a clear coat on. Now, the higher grit, such as 220, 320, 400, 600, and so on, those are going to be for in between sanding of your clear coat and for polishing things. So just remember, the lower the grit number, the more rougher, aggressive the sand will be, and the higher grit will be a more smoother finish. And finally, when using an orbital sander, here is a Woodworker Express pro tip. Be sure to move that sander very slowly. We're talking 1 inch per second. So as that sander is going across your workpiece, you do not want to be moving left or right more than 1 inch per 1 second. So if you're doing this with that sander, just tell that project goodbye. I'm just kidding. Just go nice and slow and smooth. You'll get a much better finish and much better stain results. As always, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to leave a comment or a question down below if you have one. We're more than happy to help you out, and it also gives us invaluable feedback to help you, and we can make another video based on the questions you guys are asking. And be sure to keep following us here at woodworkerexpress.com.